Hello, Jimmy Noble here. Today is, I just made a video a couple of minutes ago, so it's actually the same day. It's February the 27th, 2012. Getting ready to put some paperwork here. My buyer's agent's going to be writing a contract later on today, but I wanted to talk real quick about a pancake. You know, no matter how flat it is, it always has two sides. So, you know, we're in the sales business, so, you know, my goal as an agent isn't to always, and as a salesperson, isn't always to agree with you and tell you what you want to hear, and it's not always to agree with the buyer and tell them what they want to hear. Ultimately, I've got to deliver the truth to both parties so that we can get a meeting of the minds. You know, if a buyer's unrealistic, I have to absolutely let them know that, hey, listen, you know, you can't write offers that are $50,000 lower than list price. Hey, you can write them, but they're probably not going to get accepted. Let me show you every single property in the zip code that's sold in the last 6 months and tell me if you know, conclude what you think would be a reasonable offer. You know, and they'll oftentimes look over that and say, wow, you know, homes really don't sell for, you know, $50,000 less. Oh, they don't sell for 50 cents on the dollar. Actually, guys, you know, when people hear, when people say these things like, hey, homes are selling for, you know, 70 cents on the dollar, they're not talking about if, you know, a house is listed at $100,000 today. They're not saying that you can buy that $100,000 house for $70,000. What they're telling you is that house today that's at 100, that's priced correctly, that's going to sell for 100, they're telling you that used to sell for 30% more back in the peak of the market. That's kind of where you get that big drop when you hear the news. You know, so make sure you get your facts straight. I watch the news and I'll hear they'll talk about the market going up and they'll talk about the market going down in the same news program in the course of the same hour. So disregard that. Come to us to get the facts. Here's what I wanted to get to in regards to a pancake. Guys, oftentimes when I'm walking through with the owner of a home checking out a property, you know, we'll just use this one as an example. This is a real life scenario. I went through, the house was on a main road, double yellow line, 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. And the owner said, hey, listen, I know the first thing they did, they knew it was a sales objection to buyers, so they were trying to sell me. But mind you, I always tell them, I am not stroking the check to purchase this home. You know, I'm here to market and negotiate the contract and get this thing sold for you. So the first thing I walk through the door, they say, hey, listen, I know we're on a main road. It's actually a benefit. They said, we're the first people who get plowed out of here. So from the owner's standpoint, you know, it was a positive, the fact that they didn't have to wait, you know, till maybe later in the evening or the next day to get plowed out. I mean, we're in Maryland, so we're not really getting a lot of snow. When you do get snowed in, like we did a couple of years ago, what do you get, maybe 2-3 days tops before they plow you out? In most neighborhoods, some might have more, but for the most part, most people aren't stuck in their house for 2 weeks. You know, now when a buyer comes through this house, their sales objection is going to be, wow, we're on a main road. If a ball goes into the road and my child chases it, they could get hit by a car. If my dog gets loose, they could get hit by a car. So my point being is that no matter how flat a pancake, you always have two sides. You have the homeowner and you have the buyer. My job is to help deliver the information so that we can bridge that gap and make a sale. So here's what I have to say. When looking at some of these, what I'm going to call buyer objections, when look at some of these buyer objections, you have to take into account what's going on in the marketplace. So for instance, if every house in that neighborhood sells for $400,000 and you know, you take account of which ones are on the main roads, which ones are on the side roads, you know, you're going to come up with some numbers that are going to be, you know, they might have a little bit of variance to them, but you're going to come up with some consistencies. And mind you, we're not looking at the active properties because you can list something on the market as high as you want. And you'll probably find an agent who will do it. What you got to do is look at the properties under contract. What are buyers paying right now? And the properties that have sold. What if buyers paid in the past and banks have appraised and let go through? So if everyone's selling for $400,000 and they're not on a main road, if they're on a cul-de-sac or one of the streets, 2-3 streets back from that main road, they don't have the traffic noise, they don't have the dangers of getting, you know, having maybe a pet injured or a child injured, and you know, rush hour traffic, worrying about pulling in and out, backing out of the driveway or garage. That takes part. So I'm not telling you, what I'm telling you is make sure you look at this from an objective standpoint. You know, don't look at it solely from what it means to you, because remember, we're not trying to keep you in the house. We want to get you to sell the house so that you can move on and be where it is that you want to be. I'd like to talk to you more. I can be reached at 410-258-0566. Once again, I'm Jimmy Noble, and thank you so much for watching my video. Have a great day.